to take some time today to sit down and speak with you about a current hot topic in medicine and in pharmacy. I'm a registered pharmacist and we're all hearing about CBD. CBD has become a trending product. It's all over. It's legal in 43 states now. We're about to see an FDA indication for this medication to come out. And what are the implications and what do we know and what do we not know? So I want to give a little bit of background, overview of the medication, what forms we're going to see it in, what it's going to be used for, and maybe other questions or answers or discussion points that we haven't even thought of, as it's such a hot and trending topic and it's so new to where medicine might take it. So CBD, or otherwise known by its chemical name of cannabidiol, is a form, or it's derived from the marijuana plant. So it's different from marijuana or THC in the fact that they're saying that CBD does not have addictive properties. So whereas THC or marijuana, you have the addiction potential or you get the euphoria, the claims are CBD does not cause that addiction potential, nor do you have the euphoria. So that's why it's being marketed as a safer product, and there will be more uses for it down the road apparently. CBD has recently been approved by the FDA. So let's remember the FDA has also approved other synthetic forms of marijuana that we've seen in specific cases for HIV or AIDS wasting, or for patients with chemotherapy, nausea, and vomiting. So very specific uses. It is a scheduled substance by the DEA. CBD has not fallen under scrutiny yet of the DEA as it's so new, but it'll probably be a scheduled substance as well, or we'll wait to see since there is no addiction potential or euphoria concerns. But this will be the next form or stage of products that are coming out. So currently what we're going to see is a product from GW Pharmaceuticals out of England. It's called Epidiolex, and it's a pediatric epilepsy solution. So what we're seeing, it's either going to come out orally, sublingually as the solution did, or maybe intranasally. So there's going to be different ways that this product will be used. But orally will probably be common. It does get metabolized by your liver, so if there are liver concerns, we will be worried about that for your patients. If there are concerns where it gets stored in the adipose tissue, there could be some weight-based dosing issues. So those are things that are yet to still become, as we haven't seen a formal label. But for what we know now, it will come out for the FDA indication of pediatric epilepsy. So this will be used for specific population patients of 2 and above that have specific types of epilepsy that are severe and have probably not been controlled by first-line medications. The assumption should be that products that are used for epilepsy currently as first line will still be continued to be used first line or as the preferred products on your formulary if you have a formulary of medications that you must abide by. And then once you have exhausted the use of those medications, CBD will probably be one of the last line of medications that can be used. And again, there's going to be a severity component, as it says, for severe forms of Lennox-Gastaut or Dravet syndrome for ages 2 years and older. So this is the population of patients, very specific population of patients, very specific study. So it will be hard to see what the general outcome of this drug will be until we get some post-marketing and see where its use is and how the DEA will schedule it, if they do, since again there is no euphoria or addiction potential as maybe there is with the dronabinol that is out there, and those are scheduled medications. So we'll have to see what's still to come even after this FDA indication was given. So, as I mentioned, the criteria should probably still be in place for first-line medications. This will not be the first time we've seen a form of marijuana on the market. We do have the synthetic medications such as dronabinol, as I mentioned, for the AIDS wasting or for nausea and vomiting due to certain chemotherapy regimens where, again, you've exhausted first-line medications. And it's going to be seen if we're going to be able to use this medication for potential other conditions There's talk out there that it could be used in some behavioral health ailments such as schizophrenia, and I think the next phase of this drug will be an oral, and I'll mention that that's going to be used for these behavioral health issues. It could also be used for pain. There's some indication that it can help with pain as a topical form of the medication. So it's still to be seen what the potential of CBD can be and its derivative for derivative use. So again, no high or addiction potential like THC, so they won't be used for recreational use as we're currently seeing the hot trend of marijuana in certain states and legalization. So no recreational use. Currently, if you've looked around and you're in one of the 43 states where CBD is legally sold, it's sold as an oil. I think you can even look online and you'll find it at Sephora as an oil, so it can be used on your face. It's found in many supplements. It's found in gum. It's found in some joint pain extracts and chocolate bars. So it's being marketed, it's being used. These are probably not FDA grades of the medication, so it's just being used through distribution channels that it's out there on. And we don't know what those products will be able to do or not do, but people are taking them. And the trend is to show that CBD is beneficial for some energy uses and again, for some focus and relaxation concerns. CBD has some properties that show you can use it for that as it works on the receptors in the body. As I mentioned, for pain, that's still yet to be seen, so we're seeing some of that being used for the pain extracts, but the actual indication for the drug, as I mentioned, will be used for epilepsy. So we're going to see it come out in a few different dosage forms. It's going to come as a sublingual, it's going to come as an intranasal, and then it's going to come as an oral. And that oral drug is in the next phase of development. It's in a phase 1 study. So if you look at the way the FDA manages studies, you go from phase 1, and then your population and size and specificity increases to go to phase 2, phase 3. So this trial is still very preliminary for the drug that's about to come out, and that one's specifically going for an indication to be used in the behavioral health population of schizophrenia. So toxicities, as any pharmacist or anything you should always be aware of when you're taking any medication, you should look for drug interactions. You should let your pharmacist or healthcare provider know that you're starting CBD, you're taking it orally, you're eating it through supplements, you're eating it through medications. So then that way a drug interaction check can be done and you can check for safety and efficacy against anything else you're taking currently. But it does go through your liver. So if you have any liver disease, there is a concern. If you're taking other medications that are also going through your liver, there could be a concern for drug interactions there. So you probably really do want to talk to your pharmacist before you start CBD. It might make you feel better, but you should always double check that there's nothing that could cause any harm by using CBD with some of the medications that you're on. It's going to be metabolized again by your liver, so if you have any liver disease, make sure it's safe for you to use this medication. It also goes through storage in the adipose tissue, so your fat, and there'll probably be some weight-based dosing concerns. We'll have to see how the labeling comes out and where the medication actually falls into after post-marketing and its use. So the next step, as I mentioned, we don't know what other diseases CBD can be used for. Right now it's a breakthrough for epilepsy, which is great, especially for these kids that have exhausted all other options. We're not sure though what the potential of this drug is, where this derivative, where this chemical of the marijuana plant can go next. I think with any of medications now, any pipeline, anything you see, the opportunities could be endless here. And there's so many elements, as I mentioned, and there's lists and lists that go on, especially when we're talking about our behavioral health, anxiety, depression, those types of concerns. There could be other uses that we're not aware of yet, such as in inflammatory diseases, maybe rheumatoid arthritis, similar to what we're seeing now with glaucoma, other inflammatory processes like your irritable bowel syndrome, your Crohn's. There could be some utility for this medication, so the trials and the future of this drug is still yet unknown. So if you have any of these diseases, it might be very worth your time to continuously go to like clinicaltrials.gov to talk to your healthcare provider if they know of any trials that you can enroll in and be involved in this phase of study for this medication and see if there's anything that you can start taking and if it will help some of the ailment that you're having or side effects that these diseases may cause. So as far as we're seeing, you will see CBD distributed at some of your local stores. It's online. There's a lot of distribution channels currently. I think Weed Maps is distributing this medication throughout the country. You can sign up maybe through their site to get more information, to learn more about the drug. This is a breakthrough medication, we're hoping. Its possibilities seem endless. There's, since it's being used in chocolates and things that you might eat on a day-to-day basis or supplements, there's also joke that they're lacing drinks with the CBD. So the utility, where you're going to take it, where you're going to drink it or use it, it's so yet to be seen. And we're just on the initial side of what CBD's purpose and use could be. It's like what penicillin brought. I'm not sure if this is what they're hoping this drug will do, but it looks like it will be a game changer. So, in conclusion, I just wanted to give you some information on CBD as it is a hot and trending topic currently in medicine. It's coming out with the FDA for specific use in epilepsy patients, and it will be in a solution form. It is derived from the marijuana plant, but to reiterate, there is no euphoria or addiction concerns, so there is no recreational use for this medication. We're not sure what other potential drugs it can interact with, what other potential disease states it can be used for, or any other conditions that could affect it, but the studies will come, and as I mentioned, there is a phase 1 study for other uses of behavioral health concerns. We do know it goes through the liver, so if you have any liver disease and you are considering to take CBD, please talk to your healthcare provider before you do that. And the next steps for this drug, the possibilities are endless. Like I mentioned, keep up with the trials, see if you can get involved, if there's anything that you can use or take this medication for, and maybe you'll be part of that population of patients that benefits from using this medication. Thank you for your time. I hope this was informative on the new and up and coming trend of CBD or cannabidiol. Thank you.